Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Tanvi Taneja, and with me is Abhijit Loreng with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says world needs to adapt to post-corona scenario and be ready for opportunities and challenges arising out of it. 78 constituencies to go to polls in third and final phase of Bihar Assembly elections tomorrow. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.32%. Over 42,000 crore rupees disbursed to defence personnel under one rank, one pension scheme. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in eliminator match in Abu Dhabi. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focusing on hand hygiene and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said that COVID-19 pandemic will remain a watershed moment in history like the Second World War. The Prime Minister was speaking at the virtual bilateral summit with his Italian counterpart Giuseppe Conte. In his opening remarks, Prime Minister Modi said the world will have to adapt to the post-corona scenario and be ready for the opportunities and challenges arising out of it.
ये साफ है कि कोविड-19 महामारी सेकंड वर्ल्ड वॉर की तरह इतिहास में एक वाटरशेड रहेगी। हम सभी को इस नई दुनिया के लिए, पोस्ट कोरोना वर्ल्ड के लिए अपने आप को एडेप्ट करना होगा। इससे उत्पन्न होने वाली चुनौतियां और अवसरों के लिए हम सभी को एक नए सिरे से तैयार रहना होगा। मुझे विश्वास है कि आज की हमारी बातचीत से हमारे संबंध और मजबूत होंगे, आपसी समझ बढ़ेगी और सहयोग के नए क्षेत्रों की पहचान करने में सहायता मिलेगी।
Mr. Modi expressed his condolences on behalf of people in India for the losses due to COVID-19 in Italy. He said when other countries were still getting to know about coronavirus and trying to understand it, Italy was suffering from it. He said Italy swiftly and successfully brought the situation under control. The Prime Minister expressed hope that after COVID-19 situation improves, India will get an opportunity to welcome the Italian members of Parliament.
खुशी की बात है कि 2018 में हमारी बातचीत के बाद आपसी आदान प्रदान में काफी गति आई है। मुझे ये जानकर खुशी है कि इटली की संसद ने पिछले साल इंडिया इटली फ्रेंडशिप ग्रुप स्थापित किया है। मैं आशा करता हूं कि कोविड-19 की स्थिति सुधरने के बाद हमें इटालियन पार्लियामेंट मेंबर्स का भारत में स्वागत करने का मौका मिलेगा।
Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat has said that border confrontations and unprovoked military actions spiraling into large conflict can't be discounted. Speaking at a webinar organised by the National Defence College today, he said India will not accept any shift in the line of actual control with China.
The situation along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh remains tense, and the PLA is facing unanticipated consequences of its misadventure in Ladakh. Because of the Indian Defence Forces' firm and strong response, our posturing is unambiguous. We will not accept any shifting of the line of actual control. In the overall security calculus, border confrontations, transgressions and unprovoked tactical military actions spiraling into a larger conflict cannot therefore be discontinued.
General Rawat said India is growing in stature, so the security challenges would also rise proportionately. The Chief of Defence Staff asserted that the country must move out of the constant threat of sanctions or dependency on individual nations for military requirements. He said the country is investing in building long-term indigenous capability for strategic independence to squarely meet present and emerging challenges.
In the emerging security paradigm, the armed forces should therefore be structured in a manner that they provide operational flexibility to pursue wider strategic objectives as well as resource optimization. Thus, foremost amongst the reforms is to adopt the integrated theatre command system, which has the potential to unlock critical core strengths within the three services, to bridge limitations and complement each other's competencies in battle, to realize the full potential of our combat power in a synergized manner.
Referring to Pakistan, he said, the new Indian template to deal with terror has injected uncertainty in the country, which was continuing its proxy war through cross-border terror. In Bihar, elaborate security arrangements have been made for the third and last phase of assembly elections. In all, 78 constituencies spread over 15 districts, including Kishanganj, Katihar, Madhepura and Sopal, will go to polls in this phase tomorrow. Polling for by-election to Valmiki Nagar parliamentary seat will also be held simultaneously. 7 candidates are in the fray for this Lok Sabha seat. Over 2.35 crore electorate will decide the fate of 1,204 candidates, including 110 women in this phase. Polling will be from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Chief Electoral Officer H.R. Srinivas said polling will be held up to 4 p.m. in 4 Naxal-affected constituencies of Valmiki Nagar, Ramnagar, Simri, Bakhtiarpur and Mahishi. Out of 33,782 polling stations, 4,999 are considered as vulnerable. Additional Chief Electoral Officer Sanjay Kumar Singh told AIR News that elaborate security arrangements have been made to ensure peaceful polling tomorrow.
The security arrangements for the polls are complete. All the polling stations locations will have paramilitary forces, will have multi-layered patrolling to ensure security in the entire area. In riverine areas, we'll also have mounted police force as well as boat patrolling. The international border, which the SSB is manning, is put on alert so that no cross-border mischief is attempted. All the flying squads, static surveillance team and all the arrangements at the polling stations are complete and we are just waiting for the polling to start.
The Election Commission has instructed everyone to follow all COVID protocol during the conduct of polls. Every person has to wear face mask during the election-related activities. Thermal scanning of all people will be carried out and sanitizers will be made available at all locations during polling. All polling booths have been sanitized. In view of the COVID situation, only 1,000 electors will exercise their right of franchise at every polling station instead of 1,500. More from a correspondent.
BJP is contesting on 35 seats while Janata Dal United 37, Vikashsheel Insan Party 5 seats and Hindustani Awam Morcha 1 seat in this phase. While RJD is contesting 46 seats, Congress has fielded 25 candidates, left parties 7 seats. On the other hand, LJP has fielded 42 candidates, RLSP 23, BSP 19 and NCP 31 candidates for the final phase. Political fortune of Assembly Speaker Vijay Kumar Chaudhary and Chief of Vikashsheel Insan Party Mukesh Sahni will be decided in this phase. 12 ministers including Bijendra Yadav, Bima Bharti, Firoz and Ramesh Rishidev are also in the fray. Senior RJD leader Abdul Bari Siddiqui, Shakil Ahmed Khan of Congress and State Secretary of CPI are also in contest in this phase. With the report of K.K. Lal from Muzaffarpur, Anupam Mishra, AIR News.
Elections are being held in 3 phases for the 243-member Bihar Legislative Assembly. The first phase of polling was held on the 28th of October and the second on the 3rd of November. Counting of votes will be taken up on the 10th of November.
In Manipur, all arrangements have been put in place for the by-elections of 4 assembly constituencies spread over 3 districts of the state. The polls for Wangoe, Saitu, Lilong and Wangjing Tentha assembly constituencies will be held from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Over 1.35 lakh electorate will decide the fate of 11 candidates. Polling will be conducted at 203 polling stations. The counting of votes will be held on November 10th. The ruling party, BJP, is contesting on 3 seats, while one independent candidate from Lilong Assembly constituency has the support from the BJP. The opposition party, Congress, is contesting in all 4 assembly constituencies, while NPP has fielded one candidate from Wangoe Assembly constituency. The Election Commission had announced by-elections to 5 Manipur constituencies. However, the BJP candidate of Singhat Assembly constituency won the election unopposed after the rival sole candidate withdrew his nomination. Kerala local body election will be held in 3 phases on 8th, 10th and 14th of next month. The State Election Commission informed that the notification of election will be issued on 12th of November. A report.
The nominations can be given till November 19th. The counting of votes will be held on December 16th. With the announcement of poll dates, the Model Code of Conduct has come into effect in the state. As being the first election to be held amid COVID pandemic in Kerala, strict COVID protocol has been put in place for the conduct of election. Postal voting facilities will be provided for COVID positive patients and those in quarantine. Over 2.71 crore voters are there in the election that will be held in 1,119 local bodies across the state. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
The Union Government today said that the country's recovery rate among the COVID-19 patients has reached 92.32%. More than 54,000 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours. The total number of recoveries has reached over 77,65,000. The constantly increasing recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country is reduced and currently comprises only 6.19% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 5,20,000. In the last 24 hours, 47,638 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country so far to over 84 lakh. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.49%, which is one of the lowest globally. In the last 24 hours, 670 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,24,985. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 12,20,000 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached over 11 crore 54 lakh. In Uttar Pradesh, the system of e-COVID care support network has proved extremely successful in controlling the fatality rate and supporting better treatment of corona-infected patients. Our correspondent reports that over 3,000 serious COVID patients have been given medical advice using this system in the state.
COVID wards of 52 medical colleges of state are connected with e-COVID care support network. Under this system, medical experts are giving advice to the serious COVID patients along with helping hospitals in better COVID management with the use of computer, telephone and WhatsApp chat. Medical Education Minister Suresh Khanna is continuously monitoring this system. Additional Chief Secretary, Medical Education, Dr. Rajneesh Dubey said that through the system, 3,086 serious COVID patients have been given medical advice. The medical colleges and COVID hospitals of the state have been divided into 2 categories, primary and advanced, as per their requirements. The system has helped in improving the recovery rate of serious patients of COVID infection and also decreased the mortality rate. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Kerala reported more recoveries than COVID-positive cases today. 7,002 new cases of COVID were confirmed, while 7,854 people recovered from the infection today in the state. Presently, the total active COVID cases in Kerala stands at 83,208. Over 63,000 samples were tested in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, 27 deaths were also confirmed due to COVID today, taking the death toll in the state to 1,640. Brohat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palika and City Police Commissioner Office have come together to contain the pandemic in Bengaluru city, which has the state's highest COVID-19 caseload. The senior officers of both the institutions met in the city today to chalk out plans for a concerted effort to bring down COVID positivity rate and fatality rate. Our correspondent has filed this report.
According to the latest data available, Bengaluru city has reported 3,45,134 COVID positive cases and 3,927 deaths due to COVID. It has a positivity rate of 3.36% and 1.14% of mortality rate. The City Municipal Corporation conducted 53,000 COVID tests yesterday, out of which 1,600 were found COVID positive. To contain the pandemic situation, it was decided in the meeting today to keep the number of tests at the maximum level and ensure that the public wear masks and maintain social distancing. It was decided to have better coordination between the police and municipal corporation marshals. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
The Ministry of External Affairs organized a briefing session on COVID-19 related issues for diplomatic missions and international organizations in New Delhi today. More than 190 heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations and their representatives participated in the briefing. Participants were briefed on India's management of COVID-19, its vaccine development program, software and related issues of vaccine delivery system and international cooperation. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Senior physician Dr. Manoj Kumar will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
The Brihan-Mumbai Municipal Corporation today said the doubling rate of COVID-19 patients in all the 24 administrative wards in the island city has crossed 200 days. According to BMC's latest notification, out of the 24 wards in the BMC area, the doubling rate of corona patients in 4 wards is now more than 300 days and in 11 wards it is 200 days. Besides, the weekly average rate of corona patient growth has now come down to 0.33%. More from our correspondent.
With each passing day, the measures taken by the BMC to prevent corona infection is yielding favorable results. Within just 8 days span, the doubling rate of COVID patients in Mumbai has gone up to 208 days from 51 days. Accordingly, in all the 24 administrative divisions of the corporation, 4 departments have reached the stage of 300 days in the period of doubling of patients. Also, a total of 11 wards have reached a doubling period of more than 200 days. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
Meghalaya today reported 86 new COVID-19 cases, while a total of 91 people also recovered in the state. According to a statement from the Directorate of Health Services, the state now has 984 active cases. As of now, a total of 8,904 people have recovered from the virus and the death toll in the state stands at 91. Nagaland's COVID-19 caseload climbed to 9,327 after 63 fresh cases of COVID-19 were reported positive today. Health Minister S. Phangnuphom in a tweet said that 117 patients have also recovered. So far, a total of 8,195 people have recovered from the infection, improving the recovery rate in the state to 87.86%. In Manipur, 2 persons died of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours, taking the total fatality in the state to 191. On the other hand, 166 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of positive cases in Manipur to 19,891. Meanwhile, 342 persons were discharged in the past 24 hours in the state, and the recovery rate has thus improved to 80.9%.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says world needs to adapt to post-corona scenario and be ready for opportunities and challenges arising out of it. 78 constituencies go to polls in the third and final phase of Bihar Assembly elections tomorrow. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.32%. Over 42,000 crore rupees dispersed to defence personnel under One Rank One pension scheme. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in eliminator match in Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The government has said that an amount of over 42,740 crore rupees has been dispersed to 20,60,220 Defence Forces pensioners and family pensioners since the implementation of One Rank One Pension OROP. The central government took the historic decision to implement OROP in November 2015 and the benefit was given from 1st of July 2014 despite huge financial burden. According to the Ministry of Defence, OROP beneficiaries also got the benefit of fixation of pension under 7th Central Pay Commission. OROP implies uniform pension to the armed forces personnel retiring in the same rank with the same length of service regardless of their date of retirement. It implies bridging the gap between the rate of pension of current and past retirees at periodic intervals. Ex-servicemen had been agitating for the implementation of OROP for nearly 45 years. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were killed today in an encounter between terrorist and security forces at village Lalpora in Pampore area of South Kashmir's Pulwama district. Police sources said that a joint team of security forces had launched a cordon and search operation CASO in Lalpora last evening following the intelligence inputs about the presence of terrorists in the village. As the joint team approached towards the suspected spot, the terrorists fired upon them and in retaliation, 2 terrorists were gunned down. The identity of the slain terrorist is being ascertained. 1 terrorist also surrendered during the encounter. Incriminating material including arms and ammunition have been recovered from the encounter site.
In the cliffhanger U.S. presidential election, the Democrats have gained lead in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. Earlier today, the Democratic Party also registered lead in the traditionally Republican stronghold state of Georgia. Democratic Party presidential candidate Joe Biden is currently leading with 253 electoral votes, whereas incumbent president and Republican Party candidate Donald Trump stands at 213 electoral votes. The Democrats have already managed to flip Wisconsin and Michigan in this presidential election. Georgia with 16 electoral votes and Pennsylvania with 20 electoral votes will give Biden a substantial lead in the race to the White House. In the 538-member Electoral College, the candidate needs to secure at least 270 electoral votes to be declared as the presidential elect. Counting of votes is still going on in key states like Pennsylvania, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia and Nevada. As per the latest update, Democrats are also leading in Arizona and Nevada, whereas Republicans have maintained their lead in North Carolina. Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar has said that the central government is working on all fronts to mitigate air pollution. He said the government will continue to strive hard to bring an end to the issue of air pollution and encourage all possible technological interventions in this regard. Mr. Javadekar expressed concern over the pollution level in the northern parts of the country, especially in Delhi. Speaking at the virtual inauguration of the country's first demonstration plant in Pune, Mr. Javadekar said stubble burning is another cause of concern and expressed hope that technologies like these will help alleviate the problem. The plant produces compressed biogas from biomass. Mr. Javadekar also informed that the central government's Pusa Institute has demonstrated a decomposer technology which converts stubble to manure and is being experimented on a pilot basis in 5 states, including Delhi. The minister said solar energy and renewable energy are being promoted in the country to reduce the pollution level across the country. Mr. Javadekar also added that the government is making efforts to promote usage of electric vehicles in the country. He said National Clean Air Program has also been formulated to improve the air quality in 122 cities across the country. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa today announced a ban on bursting crackers this Deepavali. Due to the pandemic situation and pollution, a decision has been taken to impose a ban on sale and use of crackers. An order in this regard will be issued soon. He was speaking to media persons after holding consultations with officials of the Health and Family Welfare Department in Bengaluru today.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah said the farmers and poor people in West Bengal will get the benefits of central projects like Kisan Samman Nidhi and Ayushman Bharat if the BJP comes to power in the state. While responding to media queries in Kolkata, Mr. Shah came down heavily on the Mamata Banerjee-led TMC government, saying the state tops the list regarding atrocities on women. He criticized the state government for political violence in West Bengal. Replying to a question on BJP chief ministerial candidate, Mr. Shah said the party will decide the issue.
जहाँ तक चीफ मिनिस्टर फेस का सवाल है, पार्टी का पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड और पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष निर्णय करेंगे करना या नहीं करना और करना तो किसको करना। मगर देश में हम बहुत सारे चुनाव फेस तय करे बगैर लड़े हैं। जैसे यूपी 3/4 मेजोरिटी से जीते, हमारा कोई फेस नहीं था उस वक्त। चुनाव में गए, ढेर सारे चुनाव हम ऐसे ही लड़े हैं, जीते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Ropax terminal at Hazira and flag off Ropax service between Hazira and Goga in Gujarat on Sunday through video conferencing. It marks a big step towards the Prime Minister's vision of harnessing waterways and integrating them with the economic development of the country. Prime Minister will also interact with local users of the service during the event. Hazira-Goga Ropax ferry service will work as a gateway to South Gujarat and the Saurashtra region. It will reduce the distance between Goga and Hazira from 370 kilometers to 90 kilometers.
In business news, the equity benchmarks today continued their winning rally and gained more than 1% amid mixed global cues. A report from the business world.
The BSE 30 share index Sensex gained 553 points, 1.34% to settle at 41,893. The NSE Nifty 50 index also rose 143 points, 1.18% to settle at 12,264. In the foreign exchange market, the rupee appreciated 19 paise and settled at 74 rupees and 20 paise against the US dollar. Gold surged 791 rupees to 51,717 rupees per 10 grams in the Delhi bullion market. Silver also jumped to 2,147 rupees up to 64,578 rupees per kilogram. And in intraday trade, Brent crude prices were trading around $39.80 per barrel. Arjun Chaudhary for AIR News.
The Bombay High Court has deferred the hearing of the habeas corpus petition filed by Republic TV Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami against his arrest and remand in the 2018 abetment to suicide case. A division bench comprising Justices S.S. Shinde and M.S. Karnik heard the petitioner today and, citing paucity of time, stated that it will continue hearing tomorrow at 12 noon. The bench said it will hear the state government and the complainant Adanya Nayak tomorrow. In IPL eliminator match, Royal Challengers Bangalore were 112 for 6 in 17.2 overs against Sunrisers Hyderabad in Abu Dhabi when reports last came in. Earlier, Sunrisers Hyderabad won the toss and chose to field. The winner of the fixture will meet Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier scheduled to be played at the same venue on Sunday.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital will experience fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature will hover between 13 and 30 degrees Celsius in New Delhi. In Mumbai, sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius and the maximum around 35 degrees. Chennai is likely to witness thunderstorm with rain. The temperature will hover between 26 and 33 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have mainly clear sky with temperature varying between 20 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, sky will be generally clear with minimum temperature of 12 and maximum 29 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Temperature in the city will hover between 0 and 20 degrees Celsius. In Leh, sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature will be minus 4 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 10 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky with temperature rising from minus 1 to 24 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the sky will be mainly clear and the temperature will move from 7 to 28 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 11 and 28 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Chandigarh skies will be mainly clear and temperature oscillating between 11 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 16 degrees Celsius and the maximum around 30 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Ahmedabad will have clear sky and minimum temperature will be 18 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Patna will see mainly clear sky with temperature hovering between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius. And Guwahati will have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later, with the minimum temperature around 18 degrees Celsius and the maximum around 31 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, world needs to adapt to post-corona scenario and be ready for opportunities and challenges arising out of it. 78 constituencies to go to polls in third and final phase of Bihar Assembly elections tomorrow. National COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 92.32%. Over 42,000 crore rupees disbursed to defence personnel under one rank, one pension scheme. And in Indian Premier League cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in an eliminator match in Abu Dhabi. And for details of these stories and more, you can always log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. From all of us here, good night.